Hi, boys and girls. Today we're going to be doing chapter 2.11, and this is problem solving, compare numbers. Now, this is going to be all word numbers, so it's a very good way to really dig in and look at the information very carefully. Okay, so we're going to start with the sample one, and it's already kind of like done for us, but let's look at it as if we were going to do it for the first time. So first we have to read the problem. It says children brought 217 boxes of chocolate milk and 188 boxes of plain milk. Did they buy more boxes of chocolate milk or plain milk? So we want to know if they brought more boxes of chocolate milk or plain milk. So I have to look, okay, how many boxes were chocolate milk? So we have 217 boxes were chocolate milk. So right here it says, what do we need to find? If the children bought more chocolate milk or plain milk, which is the underlying the question. That's the same thing. Now, how many boxes of chocolate milk did they brought? 217. How many boxes of plain milk? If you see the second row, it says 188 of plain milk. So I'm going to put 188 of plain milk. So now we're going to look. Now remember, place value, H, T, O. 200, 110, and 7 ones. 100, 8 tens, and 8 ones. Now guys, which digit has the greatest value? When I count by ones? No. When I count by tens? 10, 20, no. But when I count by hundreds, look, 100, 200. I need 10 tens to make 100. So the hundreds place has the most value. So if we look at the first choice, which is chocolate milk, it has 200s. And the plain milk only has 100. So right there, because that's the highest value, I already know that 200 is more than 100. So by looking at that, looking at the picture, see, there's 200s, and here we only have 100. So I already know that it's chocolate milk. I'm going to abbreviate it to do it faster. Now let's go to our next one. Okay. At the zoo, there are 137 birds and 148 reptiles. Are there more birds or more reptiles at the zoo? So we want to find out which one is more, the birds or the reptiles. So I'm going to draw a line to separate, and I'm going to put birds, and I'm going to put reptiles. So I can see which picture. So on the birds, I have to draw HTO. I'm going to put 137 birds. So I will go HTO, and I got it from here. So I go 100, one box, 3 tens, and 7 ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now the reptiles, we have 142. 142. So I'm going to do HTO, and I'm going to draw 100, 4 tens, and then 2 ones. Now remember, HTO, the hundreds is the most, and then it's the tens, and then it's the ones. So we always go in that order. So now we look at the hundreds. Well, this one has one and this one has one. So that's the same. That's not going to help me. So I'm going to go to the tens place. Now, in the birds, I have 3 tens, but in the reptiles, I have 4 tens. So this is 30 and this is 40. That means I already know that the reptiles has more because this has 142. So this one would be my answer. So who has more? Reptiles. Okay, let's do one more. Okay, Tom's book has 105 pages. Delia's book has 109 pages. Whose book has fewer? Guys, now they're asking us for fewer, not more. We have to be careful with the wording, fewer. We know that fewer means less. Who has less? So let's draw our picture. I'm going to draw a line right in the middle. And here I'm going to put Tom's because we want to know who has fewer. This is a keyword, fewer pages. So Tom's book has 105 pages. So I'm going to put 105 right here. HTO. And I'm going to draw the picture. 100, no tens, and then 5 ones. Then I'm going to go to Delia's book. And Delia has 109 pages. So this is T for Tom, and this is Delia. And she has 109. So I'm going to put HTO, and I'm going to draw 100, no tens, and then 9 ones. Now, remember, they're asking who has fewer. Fewer means less. That's a keyword. It's not like the other one that says who are there more birds or more reptiles. They wanted to know which one was more. That was the keyword there. Now on this one, they're asking who has fewer. Does Tom have fewer or does Delia has fewer? So let's look at our picture. Well, the hundreds, they're the same. So if they're the same, that's not going to help us. The tens, Tom doesn't have any tens and Delia doesn't have any tens. So that's not going to help me because they're the same. Again, they're the same. So now I'm going to go to the ones place. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ones for Tom, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 for Delia. So which one has fewer or less? You're right. It's Tom. Tom only has 5 ones. So Tom, it says who, so that they're asking for Tom's book has fewer. And I should do Tom with a capital letter. Tom's book has fewer pages. Okay, so Mary's puzzle has 164 pieces. Jake's puzzle has 180 pieces. Whose puzzle has more pieces? Now, if you don't want to draw a picture, you can also do you got it, your friendly HTO. So I'm going to go to HTO. HTO. So you can use either one, the picture or the HTO. So I'm going to put, we want to find out whose puzzle has more? That means which one is greater, bigger, more pieces, right? So we know that Mary's puzzle has 164. So that's 164. That means she has 100s, 6 10s, and 4 1s. Now, for Jake's puzzle, he has 180 pieces. 180 pieces. So first we're going to look at the hundreds because that's the one that has the greatest number. Well, they're the same. That's not going to help me. So then I go to the tens place because remember when the tens were counting by tens, and tens is more than ones. So I'm going to say, well, Mary has 6 10s and Jake has 8 10s. So can that help me? Which one who is greater? Which one is greater, 6 10s or 8 10s? Yes, 8 10s. So this one, 180, is the one that has the greater, which is Jake's puzzle. So I'm going to put Jake's, because it says whose puzzle has more. When it says whose, you tell me the name. So it's Jake's puzzle. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, there are 246 people at the game. There are 251 people at the museum. At which place are there fewer people? Remember the word fewer? They're asking you which place has fewer. Fewer means less. So let's look at the numbers. I'm going to put my HTO. You can draw a picture as well, but HTO will help. Now at the game, there's 246. 246. Now at the museum, we have 251. 251. Now, guys, when you're doing this, automatically you want to go to the biggest number. But remember, you have to read you have to read very careful the question because it's asking at which place are there fewer people. So which one has less people? Now, the hundreds place is the same, so that's not going to help me. So then I go to the tens place. Which one is less, 4 10s or 5 10s? 4 10s is less. So I already know it's the top number. It's less. So I go, there are 246 people at the game. So you got it, game will be the right answer. At the game, there's fewer. That's the part that you have to be very careful because they're trying to see if you're reading it carefully and they want to know if you make a mistake. Okay, so carefully. There are 131 crayons in a box. There are 128 crayons, in a bag. Are there more crayons in the box or in the bag? So we want to know if there are more. This is, more. That's your keyword. More crayons in the box or in the bag. So we want to know if there's more in the box or in the bag. Now let's look at the first one. There are 131 crayons in the box. So I'm going to put 131. And this is the box. And I'm going to put HTO. Remember, HTO, your favorite friend. There are 128 crayons in a bag. So I'm going to put 128 in, and I'm going to put bag. Now I'm going to go back to my question because I want to remember. I might forget. So I want to remember, what are they asking again? They're asking about Are there more crayons? Which one has more crayons? So we're going to go to the hundreds place. Remember, the hundreds is the greatest number. So we always start there. Hundreds. Well, they both have 100, so that's not going to help me. So now I go to the tens place. I have 3 tens, that's 10, 20, 30 in the box. And I only have 2 tens in the back, 10, 20. So which one is more? More tens. You got it. The one in the box has 3 tens and the bag only has 2 tens. Now the ones really don't help me because the tens have more value. So I already know that 131 is a greater value than 128. So in the box, they're not asking me to put the number, they're just asking me to put which, where are there more, in the box or in the bag? So it was the answer. Our next question. There are 308 books in the first room. There are 73 books in the second room. Now, this is the question. This is the part that you really have to pay attention. In which room are there fewer books? They want to know which room has less books. Fewer means less. So I'm going to do my HTO again. Yeah, I told you my HTO is my favorite friend. You want to get 100%? You do that little HTO and you got it to you there. You just got it. Okay? So I'm going to look at my information. There are 308 books in the first room. So in the first room, I have 300, 0, 10s, and 8 ones. That's my first room. I'm going to put first. Now in the second room, I have 273. And I'm going to put second in the second room. So this is the first room, and this is the second room. Now remember, I have to go back to the question because I already forgot. What are they asking me again? In which room are there fewer? That means I'm looking for less books. So again, I always start in the hundreds place because that's the one that has the greatest value, and that's the one that is going to tell me. So here on the first room, I have 300. But on the second room, I only have 200. And 200 is less, it's fewer than 300. So I already know my answer. Boom, right here. I don't even have to go to the tens because the hundreds gave me the answer. So in the second, you can write it with a word like they have it there. In the second room, and they already have room here, so we just have to write second. In the second room, there's fewer, right? That was the question. We'll do the math on the spot in the class. Let's do this one. There are 136 crayons in the box. Use the digits 4, 1, and 2 to write a number that is greater than 136. So I'm going to put 136. Now I can use the digit 4, the digit 1, and the digit 2 to make a number that is greater. Okay, let me do HTO. So I wanted to make it greater. Well, if I have the hundreds place with a greater number, I'm definitely know that that's a greater number. So I have a 4, a 1, and a 2. Let me do the 4 first. 400. And then I'll put 12. That's greater. That's correct. Is there another way? Absolutely. How about if I put 400 and then I switch the 12 and make it 21. That's still greater. I'm still good. I'm still rocking. How about if I use the 200 and then I put a 4 and a 1? Well, the 2 is greater than 100, so I'm still good. How about if I say 200 and I move the 41 into 14? I switch the ones in the tens place. Because the 200 is still greater than the 100, I'm still good. I'm still doing good. So all of these are good numbers. Now I'm going to do one with the 100. I want you guys to look at this one, okay? Because I can still make one that is greater than this. So I'm going to make 100. Now that's the same. So now my tens place has to be greater than 3. So from my digits, since I already used the 1, I can use a 4 or a 2. But it has to be greater than 3. So I cannot use the 2 there. I have to use the 4. And 4 tenths is going to be greater than 3 tenths. So I'm still good. And then I have 2 ones. So I can still use 142 and still be greater than 136. So all of these numbers, guys, could be a right answer for that one. There is not just one choice. You can have, as long as it's greater than 136, your answer is correct. Okay, Becky has 134 stamps. Sarah has 129 stamps. Who has more stamps? So I'm going to put HTO. Remember, my gosh, HTO is my favorite friend, I'm telling you. So I know that Becky has 134 stamps. 134 stamps. Now, for Sarah, she has 129 stamps. Now it says, who has more? I want more stamps. So I'm going to go to the hundreds place. They're both the same. Then I go here and go, oh, 3 tenths is more than 2 tenths. So I know Becky has more. So I'm going to say Becky. Becky has more. Becky has more stamps. Now, there's another question. Look what it says right here. Sarah buys 10 more stamps. Who will have more stamps now? Well, this is Sarah. I'm going to put 129. If she buys 10 more stamps, this is Sarah. Now remember, 10 more stamps, that means 10. 1, 10. 1 more 10. So the hundreds is going to stay the same. I needed to put the 1. The hundreds is going to stay the same, so it's still 1. But the 2, because it's going to be 1 more 10, 10. So you have 2 and 1 more 10 will be 3 tenths. And then the 1 stays the same. So now Sarah does not have 129. Now Sarah has 139. So if Sarah gets 1 more 10 or 10 more stamps, now let's see who has more. Becky has 100. Sarah has 100. Becky has 3 tenths. Sarah has 3 tenths. That's the same. That doesn't help me. Let's go to the ones place. Becky has 4 ones. And guess what? Sarah has 9. So Sarah has more because it has more on the ones place. Because all the other digits were exactly the same. So now, who has more? It's going to be Sarah. Just a few more, but Sarah wins now. Now it says, draw a quick picture to show the stamps Becky and Sarah have now. So right here, I'm going to draw a quick picture. So Becky has 100, 3 tens, and 4 ones. Now, Sarah had 129. So I'm going to draw 100, 2 tens, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But with a different color, I'm going to add the 10 more. Remember the 10 more? I'm going to draw the 10 more. Because it says, draw the picture to show the sums that Becky and Sarah have now. So now this is what Sarah has. So I'm going to put Becky here so my teacher knows this is Becky. And I'm going to put Sarah on this side. So this is how I prove to my teacher that, yeah, Sarah has more now. And that's the end of the lesson. I hope you liked the lesson.